Hello my friend, I hope you're ready to join me on another adventure. You're probably wondering what's attached to the back of my truck. Yep, it's a 200cc mini bike, and today I'm going to be going mini bike camping. I'm gonna ride around this canyon and try to find a place to hammock camp. I hope I can find some trees. There's not too many around here, mostly bushes, but I only need 2, so hopefully no problems there. But let's get this unloaded, check her out, and let's get going. So right now I just have the mini bike sitting on this $75 rack I got from Walmart. It's really the only thing I could find time constraint wise. It says it holds 500 pounds. I'm a little skeptical because it doesn't look too sturdy. Eventually I'm going to get something that I can reliably put this and a mountain bike on, ideally, so that way in areas where I can ride an OHV vehicle, I can take the mini bike out, and then in other areas where you're not supposed to ride OHV, I'll take the mountain bike. But right now, this will have to do. It was cheap and quick, and I attached it right to the back of my truck. You'll see why the problem with this is getting the mini bike off and on. Just gonna untie all these straps. I was a little concerned my tie-down job wasn't going to be sufficient enough and it was going to rip off when I was winding through these canyons, and it was going to fall off the back of my truck and go bye-bye. But I didn't have any problems. I just got this, as I said yesterday. Only took me about 2.5 hours. I've been waiting for this to come in for about 2 months. Everything's out of stock right now. It's pretty easy to put together. The only problem was the front tire was deflated, and I wasn't sure why. The rear tire came inflated, but the front tire was deflated. It come to find that the stem on the tire was broken, so every time I inflated it, air was just leaking out continuously. So I grabbed some little tiny pliers or tweezers, got down and twisted the valve and tightened it up, and it was no problem. Okay, so this is the fun part. Getting this thing off the rack without getting broken. Not breaking myself or the bike. And yes, I know this is not the most ideal way to store and take a bike off a rack. I'm very aware of that. I'm going to do something with this or get a better rack. This is just a short-term fix. Okay. Oh, that wasn't too bad. I have her off the truck. Already fueled her up, put oil in her. Just gotta grab my helmet, grab my pack, and then we're off. Woo. So, the plan is, the canyon's about 6 or 7 miles long. I plan on riding all the way to the top, camping, and then riding all the way back down tomorrow. Hopefully, I don't run out of gas. I don't think it should be a problem. I think that this 200cc engine probably gets pretty good gas mileage. I can't imagine that it wouldn't go forever, but at least on the way back it's downhill, so I'll just coast right on back to my camper. No big deal. Okay. Put my kickstand up. Are you ready? Here we go. Think I should take on this hill climb? No, I don't think I have enough power. It's a lot longer and a lot steeper in real life than it looks on camera. I'll probably save that for another day. But this has been the most fun I've had in so long. It's way more fun than the 6x6, let's be honest. But I'm not done with the 6x6. I'm going to take it into the water. I'm gonna do that this summer. I'm really excited for that. This is a lot easier to transport and it's really low to the ground, so I don't feel like I'm gonna wreck myself everywhere I go, except in gravel. It's a little sketchy. I was never allowed anything fun as a child. I wasn't allowed trampolines, quads, pogo sticks. I especially wasn't allowed mini bikes. My mom doesn't even know I bought this. I'm gonna try to keep this as low-key and secret as possible. Eventually she'll find out. At that point, it'll all be said and done. Sorry, Mom. I was never allowed anything fun, so I'm making up for lost time. What a breath of fresh air. It was so hot and stifling in that jacket all day. It's already hitting 80 degrees and I've had the pack on and the jacket. I didn't want to fall and just get, I don't know, road rash all over my arms, so I needed a jacket on. But it feels nice now to just relax, enjoy the breeze. It's a little bit cooler now, but I came across this. I want to do a little bit of exploring and then I have to find my camp spot, so come on. When miners first struck gold and silver here in the 1860s, they had no idea what they'd found. Small towns, mills, and communities were quickly erected and influenced a huge rush to the area. These remains were part of what was the largest cyanide mill in the United States, built in the early 1900s to help process ore from the surrounding mines. All that's left now, though, are the stone foundations. So there isn't too much left here of this mill. I don't know what side this was. There may have been a whole nother portion that I'm not seeing. There's really not much remains left. There's 3 levels of stone or masonry work. It's a bunch of stones mixed with cement. But all that's left here is a bunch of scrap metal, tin, aluminum, a little bit of wood, so not too interesting. Let's move on. I just found this. Maybe it's an old gear. I'm not sure. There's some cans, some metal gears, completely rusted away. Glad I didn't bring my metal detector here. It would be going off like crazy. Cool. Talk about a screw. Glad that's not in my foot. Check out this view. Just a little sprinkling of cotton candy skies. This would be a perfect place for a cabin in a canyon with a bunch of places to ride a mini bike. Check out this view. It's a little dark, so I'm sorry if it's grainy, but to the naked eye, this canyon below me is spectacular. You can't see it, but around the corner down there is where I came from. It goes all the way back 6 or 7 miles. I just wanted to come out here and show you this view before it got too dark and you couldn't see anything at all. It's also nice to hear all the birds and animals chirping. They're hunkering down to go to sleep. Which, speaking of, I need to find a place for my hammock. I saw a couple trees back there when I came in. I think that's where I'm gonna go, so let's go check it out. Well, got darker a lot faster than I anticipated, but I found 2 trees, so that's the good thing. I just need to set up my hammock and then I'm probably just gonna do a quick dinner because it's so dark out now. Let's set up this hammock so that I have a place to sleep tonight. So, got my hammock all set up. I love this hammock. It's got a bug net, keeps all the bugs away. It got darker a lot faster than I anticipated. I think I already said that. So I'm gonna just eat something quick for dinner. This was supposed to be my snack earlier. I guess it's gonna be a quick dinner instead. And it's the trusty peanut butter and jelly. It's not the normal peanut butter and jelly though. It's peanut butter crunchy. always crunchy. And then the jelly is macerated or mashed up, whichever term you prefer, fruit. And I'm using blackberries tonight, so crunchy peanut butter with macerated blackberries on some nice nut and seed whole wheat bread. Can't go wrong there. I'm also having some fruit. Let's see what I brought. Some apple slices and some cherries. And I think I have some coconut chocolate protein bites for dessert. I have an MSR stove for tomorrow to make some oatmeal. And you know what? Never forget the coffee. I'm already looking forward for tomorrow morning because that means my coffee! Straight Superfoods coffee. I have Hannah's Magic with me tonight, which is my favorite. This is my personal favorite. It's the French roast, dark and smooth. Right now, I'm gonna have my peanut butter and jelly. I think last time I had dinner in my hammock, or near my hammock, I got called a bear burrito. The comics out there. There's no bears out here. I'm in the middle of the desert. I had trouble finding 2 trees as it is. If there's any bears out here, you're crazy and they're lost. You're drunk, bear, go home. There might be some bobcats, but last time I checked, bobcats didn't want any peanut butter and jellies. They wanted some fresh steak from fresh meat. If anything, they'll be interested in me, so I should be concerned. Either way, I'm not that concerned. I'm just waiting for the stars to come out. It's the perfect window right here. I got the only 2 trees in the whole half-mile radius. There's a strip of sky. Once I turn off this lantern, I'm gonna watch the stars. I'm probably gonna get out my sleeping bag. I could probably do without it tonight. It's not that cold. But it adds like a little level of comfort. When you're sleeping out in the middle of nowhere, you find comfort when you see ants on the ground. What's up, Fred? What you doing down there? You know what else I have in here? This French press. It's perfect. I've been using this to make my coffee lately. It's so handy, compact, great for camping. All you do is open it up and you put 2-3 tablespoons of coffee right in the bottom. Then you put hot water in, then you let it sit for like 4 to 6 minutes. Then you take this nice press here. Just like that. Just pop this right on. It's ideal for my Straight Superfoods coffee, which you can check out at drstraight.com. It's a small collection of small batch roasted coffees. They're so fresh and they taste so amazing because I'm obsessed with coffee. I would never lead you astray. I love cherries. They're my favorite fruit. And I'm so excited they're coming back into season. Every time I go into a grocery store and I spot cherries, they always go in the basket. I would love to have a cherry orchard, except I'd probably just stand around and eat all the cherries, just like the coconuts, which probably goes to show why I don't have a fruit orchard. I would just eat fruit all day. I'm not trying to say that I only eat fruit, which I believe would be called a fruitarian, which makes me think of Steve Jobs, because if I read correctly, he was obsessed with fruits and ate fruit all the time. Sometimes when you just eat fruit all the time, it really influences your blood sugar levels, and your pancreas is responsible for controlling your blood sugar levels because it has a huge part of insulin production. So if you only eat fruit, your pancreas just freaks out and you can develop pancreatitis, which makes it kind of weird that he developed pancreatic cancer. I just think that it's not healthy for any human to only eat one type of food. There's so many extreme diets out there these days. Only eating meat, only eating vegetables, only eating fruit. Food for thought in my Blue Bear burrito. Okay, enough fruit. I'll use some protein balls. Dark chocolate coconut protein balls. 5 grams of protein in 2 balls. What a deal! Let's see how they taste. They're actually pretty tasty. They're a perfect accompaniment to some deep thoughts on life. Sometimes I forget that we're just on a big rock orbiting a big ball of fire going 67,000 miles an hour. So, really, just don't take life too seriously. Do you ever think about the meaning of life, existence, the multi-universes? the possibility of UFOs, aliens, extraterrestrial life. And on that note, I think it's time for me to pull out my sleeping bag, get it set up, and get some rest. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow morning, maybe not. Maybe I'll see you on my next adventure. Make sure you subscribe. Good night.